This is Orson Welles, speaking from London, from the Black Museum, a repository of death. Yes, here in a grim stone structure on the Thames, which houses Scotland Yard, is a warehouse of homicide. Here, everyday objects, a silk scarf, a length of twine, a child's toy, all are touched by murder. Everyday objects. A woman's purse, a man's glove, a child's shoe, all are touched by murder. All are touched by murder. All are touched by murder. Here in the grim stone structure on the Thames, is a warehouse of homicide. Here in the grim stone structure on the Thames, is a warehouse of homicide. All are touched by murder. Here in the grim stone structure on the Thames, is a warehouse of homicide. Here in the grim stone structure on the Thames, is a warehouse of homicide.
The use of a gun by an English criminal is rare. Nor in England do the police go armed in their normal course of duty. The Hamilton case was one of the more obvious symptoms of a post-war disease of violence. For days, weeks, and even months after their execution, pistols, guns, knives, many of them perhaps innocent wartime souvenirs, others of more dubious origin, were found by the police on rubbish heaps, disused gardens, mud banks of the River Thames. On the mud banks of the River Thames. On the mud banks of the River Thames. A post-war disease of violence. A post-war disease of violence. Disease of violence. A post-war disease of violence. A post-war disease of violence. On the mud banks of the River Thames. On the mud banks of the River Thames. On the mud banks of the River Thames. Post-war disease of violence. The criminal world of London had come to terms with their traditional enemies at Scotland Yard. Perhaps, after all, the innocent man had not died in vain.
Yes, they let Vivian Davis go free. In many minds, the question was, and still is, did Vivian Davis get away with murder? Frankly, I don't believe anyone gets away with murder. Murder stays with the killer, twisting mind and heart and soul even in the unsuspected and therefore unsolved cases. Where Vivian Davis was concerned, perhaps the real crime was insecurity and the kind of violent jealousy that grows from fear. I don't know. That's for the psychologist due course, Henrietta Crandall paid the usual penalty for premeditated homicide. The purchase of the hammer was sufficient evidence of the intent to kill. As for Jamie Marsdan, product of the London slums of bad company and evil ways, Jamie went free. But not for long. Product of the London slums of bad company and evil ways, Jamie went free. But not for long. Product of the London slums of bad company and evil ways. Product of the London slums of bad company and evil ways. Product of the London slums of bad company and evil ways. They put Alma Galpin safely away, where she could harm neither others nor herself. Dick Terry left that pleasant suburb of London and dropped into the anonymity one can find only in a great city. Anne Friskin sold the house and went far from London to start over perhaps, but to carry with her always the memory of tragedy. A hot, muggy night. The memory of a mistake made through loneliness. 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 Eddie Jones, in spite of his common name, was an uncommon man. Some said he was quite mad. His own defense counsel stated later that when Eddie looked at him with his piercing stare, he felt as if the prisoner were trying to hypnotize him. This, of course, we'll never know. We can only wonder if those poor women were truly hypnotized by Eddie's eyes or merely by his charm and personality. In any case, one woman did not succumb to that charm for long. She was Eddie's real wife, the predecessor of Evelyn. This woman was swindled by Eddie, but found him out and sent him to prison for 2 years. Eddie swore to kill her. She fled to Canada when Eddie left prison that time. She came back to England and was in the courts the day Eddie Jones was sentenced to hang. Some said he was quite mad. In spite of his common name, was an uncommon man. Some said he was quite mad. In spite of his common name, was an uncommon man. Some said he was quite mad.
The medical examiner swore that a .32 caliber bullet had killed Elizabeth Marlowe. The ballistics expert testified the bullet had come from the gun in Henry Higley's possession the day of his arrest in the Bank of England. Another expert adjusted the noose, placed the white hood over Higley's head, heard the man whisper the admission of his guilt, and sprang the trap. Whisper the admission of his guilt, and sprang the trap. Heard the man whisper the admission of his guilt, and
true, of course, that in many countries, men have loved their land to the point of desperation. Phillip Wardman loved his to the point of madness and murder. The rifle belonged to his grandson, a veteran living far away in Canada. Where the old man bought the silencer was never learned. The secret of that went with Phillip Wardman to the place where his bitter, lonely life drew to its close. Where the old man bought the silencer was never learned. It's true, of course, that in many countries, men have loved their land to the point of desperation, land to the point of desperation, land to the point of desperation, land to the point of land to the point of land to the point of desperation. Where the old man bought the silencer was never learned. It's true, of course, that in many countries, men have loved their land to the point of desperation.
Now here in person is Orson Welles.
Exactly how Daisy Oliver met her death was never brought out, not even at the trial. Whether Ron Smith beat her to death or whether she fell to her death, no one knows. But she was murdered, and by Ron Smith. There's no reasonable doubt about that. Nor was there any doubt about this man's character. Not only did he write of his concern over her disappearance to Daisy's mother, not only did he write long, endearing love letters to a girl he knew was dead, but from his cell, as he awaited trial, he sent a wreath to her funeral, palm leaves and one lily, with the phrase attached, "Until we meet again, meet again, meet again." Until we meet again, meet again, meet again. Again, meet again, meet again. Until we meet again, meet again, meet again. Until we meet again, meet again. Meet again, meet again, meet again. Till we meet again, meet again, meet again. Until we meet again, meet again, meet again, meet again, meet again. Jean Muir was certified insane. Her own cunning, her craftiness, were not the operations of a normal mind. A complete breakdown substantiated the testimony of the alienist. She was put away for the rest of her life. And so the case was complete. Each part of the story fitted together as neat and as well-fitting as that dainty pigskin glove. Now, until we meet next time,
in the same place, and I tell you another story about the Black Museum. I remain as always, obediently yours. I remain as always, obediently yours. Her own cunning, her craftiness, were not the operations of a normal mind. Her own cunning, her craftiness, were not the operations of a normal mind. Now, until we meet next time, in the same place, and I tell you another story about the Black Museum, I remain as always, obediently yours.